Welcome to the Crafty Mini, episode 8, Gelatinous Cube, Inception, something like that. You'll see part of the way through this video I completely balls this up towards the end of the actual project, and I've left it in because I think it's good to show mistakes and what we can learn from them. I do, however, whilst editing this, get inspired to do something else, so I've chucked that in as well as like a little bonus. So the idea was Gelatinous Cube from Dungeons & Dragons, so paint the base up really nice, border it off with some transparent cellophane and then UV resin to make also like the bumps and things of a gelatinous cube. Starting off here, just going on anything on the lowest sort of level of detail, and I'm doing like a red. That's just one of my favourite colours, so I thought I'd pop that in there. Then once that's done, going through all the wooden pieces, painting them all brown, and we'll go in later on and touch these up, dry brush and add washes and things. So mixing up the browns, just trying to variate them a little bit because there's several wooden planks on this base.
To be honest, Crafty, I don't think you'd pick right stuff here when you try to make the cube. But I've got an idea I want to share with you in a sec.
Right, and then here we go again, another slightly more orangey brown on this piece of wood where the spikes are. All the metal work gets painted up silver as well later on. I think I lost the footage for that, but it is on there. And then just going in, touching up where I can. Some really nice detail on this base actually. And then we're going in now and doing the skull. So these are the main part. And this is what sort of gave me the idea originally when we did the goblin in episode 1. So painting them up with like a bony colour, just lighten slightly, and then we'll go and dry brush up to just make it pop a little bit more. But taking my time now, going around, make sure I don't get into any of the red areas. If I do make a mistake, just go back with the original colour and touch it back up once it's dry. Pretty simple to do. So these skulls, this is the reason why I chose to do this as a gelatinous cube, because there's an image in one of the old monster manuals, and you see it's like a half-eaten skeleton inside the cube. So now we're going through with another brown, and we're painting up this rope at the bottom. Again, really nice texture on this actually. The 3D print, the quality of this print's brilliant. So shout out again to Rev for buying me this. And then we're going in there doing all the ropes with like a nice leather brown, and again pretty simple paint job, and we'll be touching all this up later. I'm just blocking out all the colours for the moment, just make sure that the composition works. The reason I've gone for the red as well is because the dice has got red numbers on. I just thought that'd be a nice thing to chuck on the top where the base of the goblin stick actually was, to hold the miniature up. And I thought, well, D&D, D20, there we go. It's a nice mix. So I'm just adding it on now, painting all the browns, and then we go in and I'm just mixing a few colours now, trying to get more of a reddish brown, just so there's enough variation, because a lot of this is actually going to be brown when you look at all the details and things. So I'm doing like a reddish leather for the scabbard on the dagger here.
It's a good call that, but cheer up, Crafty, come on. This looks pretty good at end. We'll be able to figure out the cube
and
bit.
then the bones, or teeth I think they are, that are tied onto the rope here. Paint these up with a brighter colour, because again these will be washed down and darkened and then dry brushed up again, just to give lots of layers, and it just makes these pop a little bit more.
You do like bones and stuff, don't you? You know, after all them skeletons. It's strange.
Right, and then we're going with the washes, so starting off with a sepia wash,
sepia,
and just doing some of the wooden planks, and then I'll alternate between this and like I think it's called like it's the Agrax Earthshade wash from Games Workshop. Just different tones of brown. I'll occasionally mix them on the actual miniature itself, just to give different variations in the colour. But this washes are good because they get into all the sort of detail areas, make the colour a lot deeper. And then for things like the skulls later on, you'll see that we'll bring them back up a little bit, because this step it just makes everything pop a little bit more. And I know there's, you can sit and blend up and things like that, which for a bigger piece like the goblin, definitely spend time on it, because it's going to be a centerpiece. This was originally just for a bit of fun. So I'm going in now and washing all the ropes and things, again using slightly different shades of brown. So Agrax Earthshade for this one. This is a lot darker, and I do find that the GW stuff it'll dry a lot glossier, a lot shinier, which I wanted originally for the gelatinous cube, because the idea of this thing, if you imagine like a jelly cube that moves and just absorbs things in its way, So for all the red now, I'm going in with the black. This is just to really make it a deep and dark colour, and it's like a fabric, I think, on the original sculpt, and this goes over all the silver as well. And that's it there, all washed up. It looks pretty good. Everything looks a bit dark and dirty and dingy. So this is the dry brush bit. So I go back with the original bone and just dry brush up on the skulls just to make them pop a bit more. And this is basically, you just get a bit of paint on a brush, rub the majority of it off on a tissue or a dry brush palette, and then go in on top and just feather it on top. Same with the red of the cloth. I just get the original red and just start touching up on the raised areas, just dabbing on like we did with the goblin skin. It's not a perfect, following every single contour, but just dabbing it on, it just makes it pop a little bit more. Right, and this is where things start to go wrong. So the idea was, I've got these, I think they're card sleeves, and they're transparent, and they've got a shine to them, you see there. So I thought, right, if I UV resin these on across the base to make a cube shape, then we can do all the sort of seams as well, because the UV resin will dry quite thick and gloopy, but solid. And then we can go in and add sort of bits of paint and stuff and make it look like a jellified cube with this miniature inside. So it starts off pretty well. I'm quite happy with the seam there, and it works. And then I get to the top, UV this on with the resin, and it's just too flimsy. It just doesn't work. It doesn't look good. Where the UV's reacted, it's melted it slightly. It's buggered up the paint job.
Right, this is where, while we're editing, we have a cracking idea.
So I'm just editing away, trying to get the start of the video done, thinking, right, we'll go back and we'll figure it out, we'll do something. And then I'm just looking over the top of the laptop, and I see on my paint racks, I've got these two miniatures which I glued together. So it's a Baby Yoda, Grogu I think it's called, and a llama. I did a little project for the neighbours' kids, and these were some bits that I didn't use. So I thought, right, I'm going to make a little bootleg miniature type thing in its own little blister pack. So I do a base, put some cork on just for some texture, and I paint the whole thing in, I think it's green sea grey or something like that from Vallejo, all over everything, including the base, as if it's all been cast from the same plastic. Even the underside of the base gets done. And I paint all this up, and I'm like, right, we're going to put this inside one of the card sleeves as if you'd buy this off the shelf. It was just a little one-off thing I thought of, but then I realised I might do more of this later on, season 2 or something, and make some more crazy miniatures as if you were, as if you could shop buy them. So just a simple cut bit of card, colour it up with a pen, and then I paint on, drawn on initially with pencil, just to outline it, and then I paint on bootleg Yoda llama, and then on the back I've just put Crafty Mini, as if it's a blister pack, and that's the final product.
It looks dead good, that does. Dead bloody good. Top job, Crafty, top job.
Yeah, I'm going to do another one of these for season 2 or something. I'll do a proper kit bash, I'll spend more time on the actual cardboard bit, but yeah, get them in little baggies. So back to the base, and I decided, right, so we're going to neaten up the actual base plate itself. We'll paint all that up in black, just so I've got that bit finished while I figure out how I'm going to actually do the sort of gelatinous cubey bit. And then I found this old inspiration token that I'd made for Dungeons and Dragons years ago, which will come onto shop now, just as like a little handout for the party. It was just made out of foam, resin dice holder head, and some hot glue for the weird sort of green slime. I thought, okay, maybe this could be the goblin base, maybe this can be an inspiration token as well.
I think that's not a bad idea, to be honest, Crafty, because I quite like both of these. They are cheeky little fellas. I think we should do something else for them. Also, can we do like, could you do like a baby Shoggoth toy in a blister pack?
Right, so that's the base finished there, next to the old inspiration token. Yeah, a bit of a strange one this, so I think it's good to put up mistakes, show what you can learn. I mean, I'll definitely go back to this goblin base and figure out how I can do the gelatinous cube. I know you can use things like silicone and actually do like a proper resin pour, but I'm trying to figure out ways of doing this that's on the cheap, so other people can get inspired by this, and you can create anything you want You know, at the end of the day, this has just been a base of a miniature that you can buy online, a 3D print on like Etsy or something, and a bunch of paints that you can get from any craft store, or again just online. So the idea is this is things people can do at home if they want to try and get into this hobby, because it is fun. It's a load of fun. The things I've learned over the years painting, and you know, I'm not the best, nowhere near. There's people out there who are far better. But you just keep going, keep practicing, you'll get better, and just keep trying, and I think that's important. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.